back to YouTube. Well, I don't know if I was ever really here, but I am actually here to do some art related things and just kind of up my social media presence. Hopefully you guys like the kind of ambient, chill, low light vibe, but we still have like the natural light. I'm trying to figure out where I'm looking as I'm like looking at myself, I'm looking at the camera. I've been trying to figure out what I am doing with my business, just because for the past few months I was working for a nonprofit and things didn't really pan out the way that I wanted them to. I was hoping to have a lot more time to work on my business, just because previously I was doing something on the side that was more towards the evening time. So it was really hard to like find the motivation to want to do things during the day sometimes, just because it's like if I know I have to do something for a few hours in the evening, it's just like I want my whole day to just chill. I moved on to this nonprofit. Things didn't pan out the way I wanted. I was experiencing some things that I wasn't really a fan of, seeing some things that I wasn't really a fan of either. And so now I'm back just working on my business solely as an entrepreneur, teaching yoga classes, making art, vending at events since it's the summertime, and all that good stuff. I wanted to give you all an update on the business related things. I've reopened my Patreon. I know that last year sometime I mentioned that I wasn't doing Patreon any longer, and now I've decided to bring it back around. I've revamped everything. So there are 4 tiers. There is the seed tier, sapling tier, tree tier, and forest tier. Something I want to share with you all today is something that I'm offering for only the tree tier and the forest tier. This is something that will be shipped out each month. I'm planning to do a fun little art box that includes my prints of the month, which this will be a print of the month at some point eventually soon. But this one I created just last night. If you saw my TikTok live, you might know that this is what I made last night. But either way, you'll see in this video the whole process, and we're going to talk about why it's important to make bad art. Here's another print. This one is actually the print of the month for this month. So if you sign up for my Patreon for the tree or forest tier, this will be the print that you receive. It's a lily of the valley print. I love it. This one has monstera leaves and then just some other fun leafy things, which are kind of my jam. I don't know, monstera leaves. I always say monsteras are my spirit plant. Here's another one, just to show you another example. This is a trippy bee, so half of it's like kind of melting, half of it is just like regular bee situation. But that's another one on handmade paper that I created a couple months ago. You'll get to see the process of how I create these. Each month, one will come in a little box to you if you're a part of my Patreon, and along with some other fun little things. Very excited about that. I also plan to maybe incorporate something for the new moon and full moon, since as you guys know, I'm witchy. I love my ritual things, but also I love my astrology. So I'm thinking about turning it into kind of like a monthly moon box with some art that comes from me as well. So we'll see how that goes. I'm working out the logistics of all of that. Let's start the process and start our little chat about why it's important to create bad art. So right here you see me looking through different leaves. I am trying to figure out what exactly I want to use for this creation, and I'm starting to kind of get everything traced out on Procreate. It's just a lot faster that way. But one main reason why I would say it's important to create bad art is because it allows you to grow through experimentation. And creating bad art allows for experimentation without the fear of failure and fostering personal and artistic growth. And so it really allows you to kind of figure out what your process might be like. And maybe there's like a different process that you can take to get to a certain look that you're trying to achieve by just allowing yourself to experiment. I had kind of older artists recommend to me taking just random objects and throwing them together and making a paintbrush out of things that don't really make sense together. And so I started to use pipe cleaners and just try a lot of mark making and lines, just very untraditional ways of creating art. And it gave me different ideas for ways that I could create art by using something that was more of an abstract form of creation, and then combining that with kind of my traditional training personally as an artist and creating things that were quite realistic, or creating based off of looking at it and kind of having it be created in front of me just as it is as I'm looking at it in real life. So combining the two, it creates something interesting, because you can find that maybe you like a certain sort of abstract background that can only be achieved by these very weird or not abnormal, but different practices, ways of creating art. And then maybe it really complements either color-wise or texture-wise or through the lines. It really connects deeply in a profound way with the realistic side of things. So I think it's important to experiment and allow yourself to have fun. And back to what I'm doing here. So now I've printed out my design after doing it in Procreate. I've traced it onto my little speedball block, and I'm getting my carving tools ready to carve away. But allowing yourself to create bad art gives you kind of a sense of freedom. I feel like it's meditative. Not everything has to be perfect, and I feel like as artists, we're always trying to perfect something. It has to look just right. We're working it, and maybe sometimes to the point of overworking it. This is me live, authentic, speaking into the mic right now, so there might be some stumbling over my words. But yeah, bad art challenges the pressure for perfectionism and encourages acceptance of imperfections, which promotes self-compassion and authenticity. So it's something to be embraced. But also it helps to break down those creative barriers. Maybe you have some artist block, or you're just not really quite sure where to go next within your art. I always like to maybe try a different medium that I feel like I would really jive with. Or again, I kind of allow myself, I guess in that process of trying a different medium or media, I'm allowing myself to fail, or knowing that I might not be good the first time I try it. But it allows me to kind of get a feel for something different. I get a lot of ideas about how I can create that or use that form of creation process with another process that I'm really familiar with. So again, combining your artistic skills and allowing yourself to know that failure is sometimes the step forward to getting a new skill that really serves you well, or that you become really comfortable with. But making bad art pushes the boundaries of creativity, and it leads to unconventional ideas and innovative approaches that can inspire breakthroughs. So encourage yourself to do something different. It also allows us to learn from our mistakes. So through creating bad art, we can, as artists, learn from our mistakes. We can refine our skills. We can gain valuable insights into what works and what doesn't. And we might even find that maybe something that we're so used to doing is something that no longer serves our creative process. And maybe it's really time to move on or move forward, move along to something that really fits and suits our creativity in a better way. The last little point here that I have is freedom of expression. Just making bad art allows us as artists to express ourselves without judgment or the need for external validation, fostering a deep connection between the artist and our artwork. So I encourage you to dive deep into your creative waters, try something new, and see what you can come up with.